Good morning, children. I am B. Hemakumari, Physics CRT in Achitapuram KGBV. How are you, children? Are you happy? Stay at home. Be happy. Develop healthy habits. In this pandemic situation, you cannot come to school. So, we started online classes to reach you. So, utilize this purpose and note down important points while teacher is saying the lesson. Okay, children? Let me start our lesson. Okay. Let me discuss ninth class physics topic, lesson 1, motion. Before discussing about this, being as a physics student, all you must know what is meant by physics. What is meant by physics? Knowing about physical quantity or discussing about physical quantities or studying about physical quantities. Physical quantity, physical quantity, physical quantity. What is this physical quantity? So, quantity which you can measure. Can you measure length? Can we measure the length of this board? Yes, we can measure, no? We can measure with the help of scale. Yes, length is a physical quantity then. Length is a physical quantity. Can you measure the weight of your friend? Yes, we can measure now with the help of weighing machine. So, weight is a physical quantity. Can you measure the time now? Yes, we can measure. In the same way, we calculated force, net force like that in our 8th standard. So, force also a physical quantity. This quantity also we can measure, no? So, these quantities, the quantities which we can measure called as physical quantities. Knowing about physical quantities called as physics. Okay. Now I will give notes to these 2 points. You note it down, otherwise take a screenshot. Okay. You don't take teacher why now physics physical quantity, because these are related to this lesson. So that's why we must discuss physics is a branch in science which deals with physical quantities. Now, physical quantity. The quantity which we can measure called physical quantity. Example, length, mass, force, like that. Okay? Take screenshot. Now, let me discuss types of physical quantity. This only there in your lesson. Types of physical quantities. Physical quantities are 2 types. Those are vector quantity, scalar quantity. What is meant by vector and what is meant by scalar? Now we discuss length we can measure, no? For example, length of this board, let you suppose 50 centimeters. Here, if you observe 50 number, we generally call this is a number, but in physics we call this as magnitude. What we call? Magnitude. What we call? Magnitude. And this is unit. Units play very important role in physics. Next, weight. Weight of your friend, suppose 50 kg. So 50 is a magnitude and this is unit. Here these two, length, weight. To these two quantities we are mentioning magnitude. Okay. Now force 3 newtons. In this 3 is a magnitude. You know that. N means newtons. Newtons are the unit to this physical quantity force. Okay. And we calculated net force in 8th standard. How? This is a table. If you apply force 8 newtons in one direction, if your friend applied force 3 newtons in opposite direction, then resultant force, how you calculated? The force applied by you is 8 newtons and the force applied by your friend in opposite direction. Opposite direction. So that's why I'm mentioning minus 3n. So totally 8 minus 3, 5 newtons. So here to mention this opposite force, I used minus. So means we are using signs here, plus and minus, to represent this physical quantity force. So to the force, it having magnitude and direction also. So the quantities which has both magnitude and direction called as vector quantity. And the quantity which has only magnitude but no direction. Are we showing any direction to the length? Are we showing length of the board 50 centimeters in south or 50 centimeter in north? Are we showing? No. So length and weight to these quantities we mention only magnitude with units. So the quantity which has only magnitude called as scalar quantity, and the quantity which has both magnitude and direction called as vector quantity. Now I will give notes to this vector and scalar quantity. Vector, the quantity, all of you keep hitting types of physical quantities. Vector, the quantity which has both magnitude and direction called vector. Scalar, the quantity which has only magnitude called scalar quantity. Okay. Example to this vector. Example, force. So example to the scalar, length. Okay. Take screenshot now. Next our topic, motion. The word motion always relates with the word rest in our daily life. What is meant by motion then? For example, I am here right now. If I change my position from here to here, then only I said to be in motion according to physics. So according to physics, the body which changes its position with respect to the surroundings or with respect to the observer or from time to time, then it is said to be in motion. Then what is meant by rest? For example, this board is at rest position. Why? It doesn't changes its position with respect to the observer, with respect to the surroundings or from time to time. In our daily life, this motion and rest are relative to each other. So, to explain this relative, I will give one example to you. For example, you are there at our school gate and waiting for your friend. That time, your friend is coming on a bicycle. Then if I ask you, in which position is she? Then you says, she is coming on a bicycle, no teacher? So, she is in motion. If I ask you, in which position are you? Then you says, you are at rest position. Now, I will change reference. If I ask the same question to the bicycle, your friend bicycle, array bicycle, in which position is the friend? Then definitely the bicycle says the friend is at rest position. Why? The friend is sitting on a bicycle, no? She is sitting on the seat of the bicycle, no? So she is at rest position in the view of bicycle. Yes. So here, if we change the reference, this motion and rest both will changes. So that's why we are calling here motion and rest are relative to each other. Okay. Next, let me discuss one more example. Now, all we are at rest position right now. According to you and according to me, all we are at rest position. All we are on the earth and at rest position. Yes? If any one of you go to the space and if they observe you all and me also, then if that person says all we are in motion, why? So in social, your teacher might told that planetary system. Yes, according to the planetary system, our earth always rotates its own axis and revolves around the sun. Obviously, the earth is in motion always. Yes. So, in the view of the person who is in the space, all we are in motion. But in the view of us, all we are at rest. Yes, no? Here, motion and rest are relative to each other. Okay. Next, one more example they gave in your textbook. All of you see page number 2, figure 1. See, you can see two persons here, A and B. These both are moving on a road in opposite direction. And here one house is there at the middle of them. Yes. Now, if I ask the person A, in which position the house is, definitely the person says the house is at a right position to him. Yes. Now, if I ask the same question, in which direction the house is, then the person says the house is at a left position to him. Then whose answer is correct now? Both are correct only. So in the view of the person A, the house is at right, and in the view of the person B, the house is at left. So right and left are relative to each other. Now let me see one more example. See this figure, figure 2. You know this is a globe, means our earth. We can see 4 persons A, B, C, D. Yes? If I ask the person A, where are you? Then the person A says he is on the top of the earth proudly. And the B is down of him. Yes? So up and down, this up and down also related to each other. Why? If I ask the same question B, then he says he too at the top of the earth only and A down. Yes. So in our daily life, up and down also related to each other, like motion and rest. Let me discuss one more example here. All of you see page number 3, figure 3. See this picture. Here you can see 2 persons, Somesh and Srinu. And one tree also there on the road side. And here on the road, one car is going in the east direction. Yes? Now, if I ask Somesh and Srinu, in which position is the car? Then definitely these both says the car is in motion in the view of Somesh and Srinu. If I ask in which position is the tree? Then these both says the tree is at rest position. Now all of you say this picture now. Page number 3, figure 4. See this picture. Now I am changing the reference now. See here, if I ask the passenger and the driver who are there in the car. If I ask these both in which position they Somesh and Srinu, then definitely these both says these are moving to the west direction. These both are moving to the west direction. Along with these both, the tree also moving to the west direction only. So like that, if we change the reference, this motion and the rest are changing. So motion and the rest are relative to each other. Now I will give notes to this motion and rest now. Motion. So what is meant by motion? The body which changes its position with respect to surroundings or from time to time or observer called motion. You take screenshot, otherwise note it down. Now I will give notes to rest. Rest. the body which doesn't change its position with respect to surroundings or observer or from time to time called rest. Next our topic, distance and displacement. To explain this distance and displacement, I will give one example to you. Here our school and here a home. You can follow straight path, that is path 1. And you can also follow this path also. Okay, here your friend house and here park is there to play, and here yours one more friend house. So you want to follow this path too. Why? Because to enjoy. Yes, no? Yes. Here you can follow the straight path or you can follow this curved path also. So length of the path covered by a body. The length of the path covered by a body to reach to home from school. This length we call it as the length of the path we call it as a distance. And I said to you, you can follow path 1 also. This is the shortest length that covers between school and house. So this is the shortest length covered by you to reach to home from school. So this is shortest length or the shortest distance in a particular direction called as displacement. The shortest length covered by a body in particular direction called as displacement. Whereas in the path 2, are we following particular direction? Say this here. Are we following particular direction? No. We are just covering this length of the path. The length of the path covered by a body called as distance. So this is distance. And shortest distance or shortest length covered by a body called as displacement. Okay? Now let me discuss activity 1 in your textbook, page number 4. They gave 2 positions here, A and B. Take one ball and throw it in air like this. Will it follows this path only straightly? No. The ball follows the curved path and reaches the position B. Yes, no? You know, in the universe, the objects should come down because earth having gravitational force of attraction. All objects when we project up, those comes down due to earth attractional force. So that's why body means our ball follows the path ASB, curved path. It reaches to ground at the position B. Here this ball covered this length of the path ASB. This length of the path covered by the ball. What we call this? Length of the path covered by a body? Distance. What we call? Distance. Yes. Then what about displacement? So displacement is shortest length covered by a body, or the shortest length between initial position and final position called as displacement. This is the initial position, starting position to the ball, and position B is final position to the ball. So the length between position A to the position B called as displacement. What we call? Displacement. So this is shortest length in a specified direction. Called as displacement. So in your activity, ASB is the distance and A to B in a straight path and a short path called as displacement. AB is displacement. And one more activity they gave in your textbook, page number 5, figure 6A. Here, this is position A and this is position B. Here the body covers the distance from A and reaches to B. Okay, so this is the distance of the object. Yes. Then what about displacement? If you try to draw displacement, you should show shortest path. So to this, which is the shortest path? Shortest path that joins initial and final position. So now join the final position with this initial position. So this length gives you displacement. So this is the displacement vector. Okay. And distance means A to B. This path is distance. This total path is distance. And displacement is A to B. And that too we are mentioning direction here. Displacement, to the displacement we have to show direction. So in the introduction class we discuss the quantity which has direction in addition to the magnitude, what we call vector. So displacement is vector quantity. It is having direction. And distance, to the distance, are we showing any direction? No. To this quantity, we are mentioning the magnitude only. So, distance is scalar quantity. Distance is scalar quantity. And one more activity they gave in your textbook, page number 5 and figure 6A, like this. So this is the position A, the body following this path, and this is the position B, final position to the object. Then now show the displacement vector. Displacement vector means the length of the path between initial and final position. So this is the displacement vector. And this is the distance. Okay. Now I will give notes to this distance and displacement. Distance. The length of the path covered by a body is called distance. It is denoted with the letter D. Okay. It is a scalar quantity. And we have to discuss units also. What you said? Distance means length of the path covered by a body. Means distance is nothing but length. Length. You know length units in CGS system. What is that? Centimeter. What is that? Centimeter. In MKS, length unit meters. If it is long, that is kilometer. Okay. You take screenshot, otherwise note it down. Now, displacement. The shortest length covered by a body is called displacement. It is denoted with the letter D with arrow. It is a vector quantity. Why? Because we are mentioning direction also. Now, CGS units. CGS units. What is meant by displacement? Shortest length covered by a body. Means this displacement is also nothing but length only. Yes? You know length unit in CGS? Centimeter. And in MKS, meters. Okay? So means distance and displacement having same units. You take screenshot. Next our topic, speed and velocity. Speed and velocity. You know the word speed very well, that we use in our daily life frequently. On the automobiles and on our bikes Have you ever seen two clock-like structures? Two clock-like boxes. Have you observed on that it is marked kilometer per hour on one of it, and on another one it is marked kilometers. So the box on which kilometer per hour marked, that one called as speedometer. The box we called as, or the instrument we called as speedometer, which is used to measure the speed. So speedometer is an instrument which is used to measure the speed. And the another box on which it is marked kilometer. So this instrument we call as odometer, which is used to measure distance. So speedometer is an instrument which is used to measure the speed, and odometer is an instrument which is used to measure the distance. Now, what is meant by speed then? To explain, I will give one example to you. Your PT teacher kept you one running race to you all. Then how she select the winner? So here you all are standing. Yes. And your PT teacher is here with a stopwatch. And the one which comes fast means the one which covers the distance in a short period of time. She select the one as a winner. Yes, no? So, here we are giving a relation between distance and time. So this we call it as a speed. Speed is distance covered by a body in unit time. Distance covered by a body in unit time is called speed. We know distance is a scalar quantity. Yes. Then obviously speed also becomes a scalar quantity. Yes. We indicate distance with the letter D and time T. So speed formula S is equal to D by T. Now CGS units to this speed. We know distance unit in CGS, that is centimeter. Time units seconds. So centimeter per second is the unit to speed in CGS system. MKS, distance unit in MKS, meters, and time unit seconds. So meter per second is the unit to the speed in MKS. Now let me discuss what is meant by velocity. Velocity is displacement covered by a body. Displacement covered by a body in unit time. So distance covered by a body in unit time, speed. Displacement covered by a body in unit time is velocity. Velocity denoted with the letter V. Displacement, how we indicated? D with an arrow, and time T. So this is the formula to the velocity. This velocity is vector quantity. Why you know? Displacement is vector quantity. Obviously velocity is a vector quantity. CGS units to the velocity. Displacement unit in CGS centimeter. Time unit second. So centimeter per second is the unit to the velocity in CGS. We should read this by as per in physics. Centimeter per second. We have to read like this, centimeter per second. Now MKS. Displacement unit in MKS meter. Meter per second. Meter per second is the unit of velocity in MKS. Now I will give notes to this speed and velocity. Speed. Distance covered by a body in unit time called speed, indicated with the letter S. Formula to this, S is equal to distance by speed is equal to distance by time. This is scalar quantity. CGS units centimeter per second. MKS units meter per second. You take screenshot, otherwise note it down. Now velocity. Velocity is displacement covered by a body. Displacement covered by a body in unit time called velocity. It is indicated with the letter V. Okay, and velocity units, velocity is equal to displacement by time. This is vector quantity. This is vector quantity. So one more clue to this scalar and vector of speed and velocity. Here velocity, this word started with the letter V, no? So which type of quantity is this? If they ask in the exam which type of quantity, scalar or a vector? So velocity started with the letter V, vector quantity. Speed started with the letter S. So it is a scalar quantity. Okay. Now take screenshot. Next our topic, average speed. When we use this word average speed in our daily life, let me take one example. You are in Vizag, you want to go Anakapalli by bike. You want to go Anakapalli by bike. Can you maintain same speed? No, we can't maintain. We have to face traffic and red signals also. So we can't maintain same speed. Yes, no? Then we use the word average speed. Yes, no? How can we calculate average speed then? If anyone asks how much speed your bike maintains, then we have to use the word average speed. Average speed is equal to total distance by time taken. This gives us average speed. To explain this average speed, they gave one example in your textbook. Here, Godavari Express is there. It starts in Visakhapatnam at 5 p.m. in the evening. Visakhapatnam. And here one alt is there. Vijayawada. And it reaches finally to Hyderabad in the next day morning 5 a.m. 5 a.m. See totally how much time taken by this Godavari Express 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. 5 p.m. 5 to 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Totally 7 and this 5. Totally 12 hours time taken. Time taken is 12 hours. And total distance from Visakhapatnam to Hyderabad they gave 720 kilometers. 720 kilometers. Now let me calculate average speed. We know average speed formula. Total distance by average speed is equal to total distance by time taken. Time taken is equal to total distance how much? 720 kilometers. 720 kilometers. Time taken 12 hours. Totally 60 kilometer per hour is average speed. Can we calculate average velocity like this? Yes, we can measure. Let me suppose the displacement between Visakhapatnam to Hyderabad, let me suppose 360 kilometers. This is displacement. Time 12 hours, same. We know velocity formula, displacement by time. So, average velocity is equal to total displacement by time. Total displacement 360. Time 12 hours. 12 3s are. So 30 kilometer per hour is average velocity. Okay. Take screenshot. Now, in your textbook, they gave one activity, activity 3. How to measure the average speed. Measuring average speed. To this, we have to choose 2 points A and B like this in our ground actually. Let us suppose this is a ground. Draw one line at A and one more line at B. And the distance between is fixed, that is 50 centimeters. Ask some student to stand at A1, A2, A3. Ask some students to stand at B1, B2, B3 on this number line B with the stopwatch. We know stopwatch is used to measure the time interval. To measure the time interval, we use stopwatch. These students, they just stand at their position B1, B2, B3 to note down the time interval. When these students starts running, then these on the button and note down the time taken by each. And here one condition, these students, they can follow any path, like at our beach, Vizag beach, sometimes our local government keeps marathon walk, like a group of students, they walk at a time. They follows any path like this. They can follow any path but should reach the goal. Here these students B1, B2, B3, when they reaches the line B, they note down the time taken by each. So this is the activity. Now let me calculate average speed by drawing this table. See, student, time taken by each and average speed. Okay, student A1, student A2. Student A1, how much time taken by him, that is noted by B1, no? And that is T1, let me suppose. Then average speed of the student A1, how much? We know average speed, total distance by total time. Total distance, how much between A and B? 50 centimeters, that is fixed. So 50 by total distance by time taken, that is T1. So 50 by T1 gives average speed of the student A1. Okay. In the same way, average speed of the student A2 is 50 by T2. If we suppose T2 is the time taken by the student A2. Okay. Like this, we can calculate average speed. Can we calculate average velocity by doing the same activity? Yes. How you know? By drawing straight lines between these two positions A and B. Here we have to choose 2 points A and B on a ground, as we have done in the previous activity measuring the average speed. Here too we have to choose 2 points A and B in the ground, and the distance between A and B is fixed, that is 50 centimeters. Ask your student to stand at A1, A2, A3 like in your previous activity. In the same way, ask some student to stand with stopwatch at B1, B2, B3 to note down the time interval when these starts running. Here we have to draw straight lines to each students and have to say the condition to run in this path only. Means they have to follow this path. They have to maintain some direction. Which quantity having direction? Velocity having direction. We are measuring average velocity, no? So that's why the path is in straight line. And we have to note down the time taken by each student. Let me suppose T1 is the time taken by the student A1. Then average velocity becomes 50 by T1. Yes, no? Let me plot one table. Student, time, average velocity. Student A1, A2, time taken by student A1 is T1. Then average velocity means total displacement by time. Total displacement is 50. Time taken by the student is T1. So 50 by T1 is average velocity of the student A1. In the same way, if the time taken by the student A2 is T2 second, then 50 by T2 is average velocity of the student A2. Like this, we can calculate average velocity also. Next, instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed. What is the meaning of instantaneous speed? Instantaneous speed means the speed at an instant, at a particular time, is called instantaneous speed. Here they gave one graph to the moving car like this. In this graph, they have taken time on x-axis. Time on x-axis. And distance on y-axis. Distance on y-axis. If we want to calculate the average speed during these intervals, how can we calculate? So time taken during this interval, this let me suppose T1, let me suppose this is T2. In the same way, here the distance between these two intervals S1, S2. Okay. Average speed, how can we calculate between these two intervals? Total distance between these two intervals, S2 to S1, total distance, and the time taken between these two intervals, that is T2 to T1. How much time between these two intervals and how much distance between these two intervals. This gives to us average speed between these two intervals. Otherwise, if we plot a tangent to this curve, This tangent gives with how much speed the car is moving. If the slope of the tangent is large, then the car is going with much speed. Okay. Now let me discuss a few problems you have in your textbook. What is the average speed of the car if it covers 200 kilometers in 5 hours? Average speed of a car we have to calculate. And 200 kilometer, if it covers 200 kilometers, 200 kilometers means this is distance. Distance. When you see kilometers, that is distance only. Distance is 200 kilometers. In 5 hours. In 5 hours means time is 5 hours. And we have to calculate average speed. We have to calculate average speed. We know average speed formula. Average speed formula. What is that? Total distance. Total distance by time taken. Time taken. Distance how much? 200. Time taken how much? 5. So 5 hours. So 40. 40 kilometer per hour is average speed of the car. Take screenshot. And let me discuss one more problem here. A man used his car. He used his car, it seems. The initial and final odometer reading. We discussed odometer instrument which is used to measure the distance. That is the odometer reading 4,849 and 5,549 respectively. The journey time is 12 hours. What is his average speed during the journey? So total time they gave. That is 25 hours. That is 25 hours. Time they gave clearly 25 hours. Odometer reading they gave 4,849, 5,549 final reading. So final reading of the odometer 5,549. Initial reading 4,849. So the difference between these two, 9 minus 9, 0, 4 minus 4, 0, 5, 5 and 8, totally 7. So 700 kilometers. 700 kilometers. So this is distance. 700 kilometers distance. Now can we calculate average speed? Yes, we calculate. That is 700 kilometers per 25 hours. This gives us average speed of the car. Okay.